Well, hello there. It's been about 5 months since the last solo floss, and I have to say, doing a 3-man activity by yourself is very time consuming. And you guessed it, I'm doing it with the best subclass, Stasis. And meaning that this is a challenge video, the rules are very simple. Rule number 1, any other subclass other than Stasis is not allowed to be used. And rule number 2, I can only damage enemies using stasis weapons, so special weapons are completely off the table. And thankfully the seasonal artifact has stasis, because god damn it, it's so amazing. But let's get into this dungeon. A brief explanation for those who don't like doing endgame content. Kill knight, drop motes, collect motes, get 5, get big mote, slam mote, shit happens. Hope that helped. Oh, do I have some shit to say about this guy. I would have to say this motherfucker is responsible for 80% of my fails in this dungeon. When I say whenever I restarted this goddamn dungeon, I despise having to fight this motherfucker over and over again. And the mechanics of this fight isn't even hard. It's the same thing as the beginning. You kill the knight, you get the motes, and then there's 4 different plates across that you have to bank at. It's always random, but the very beginning it's always too dark and too light. And when you bank all the motes, you get 50 seconds of damage time. So it should be simple, right? Now let me replay that for you. He summons goblins. That makes him immune to all damage, meaning that in your 50 seconds of time, goblins would take away approximately 30 seconds of that if you don't take them out quickly enough. And he loves summoning goblins. With me beyond annoyed and pissed at this moment, I decided to make the stupidest play and go for a single orb of light that wasn't going to save my ass. I hope it was worth it. And that brings me to my second issue. Whatever sadistic fuck made this section decided to give the knights aimbot. So if they sneak up behind you or you decide to go out in the open for a few seconds, they will not miss you at all. I hate when the knights have different moves. One guy on my cheeks just fucking blasting me while the other one was just sitting in the middle waiting for me to move. I haven't even mentioned how much he fucking loves his shield blast. If you're not using a directional jump, say hello to the cliff, because that's all you're gonna be going in this fight. And that shield of him makes DPS even better. Because he likes to spam the shield, he keeps blocking half of my rockets. So I have to deal with not only the taken goblins, but damage reduction because he keeps putting up his shield. And during this attempt, I panicked and muscle memory kicked in, so I broke rule number 2. You can already hear I was over this. This was my 5th attempt. But just as long as you can get through all that bullshit, you can actually beat him. Although it was such an unfair fucking... Getting past that, you make it to the easiest part of this dungeon where you have to clear out 3 camps and then proceed through an open door. I won't lie, I got lost here and just started styling on my sparrow. But finally getting past that, we get... The cube is fairly simple. All you have to do is follow that white dot and bank the motes there. The only catch is that in order to spawn a knight, you have to kill hobgoblins up above, with snipers, with acolytes on the ground, hunting you. If I'm going to be completely honest, this encounter really isn't that hard. It's just the battle of endurance, really. plus also getting shot in the back by 15 different people, but that doesn't matter. My first attempt, I kind of let the Acolytes get too out of hand with summoning turrets, and there was just way too many I can deal with, and yeah. It was at this point I actually decided to go build crafting, actually read some of the fragments that offered when I found this. Reason why that was so important is because I was using Sealed Ahamkara Grasp, which was doing the exact same thing a fragment could have been doing for me. So, I would now have a new exotic to equip, so I can actually try something else. And what would this exotic be? How would it help me in my fine Stasis establishment? Well, there was only one exotic that actually called. It was Frosties. I chose Frosties, not because of the exotic pork, but just because, you got this cool chill effect on the feet, and you can't really have a Stasis build without that cool chill effect. Yeah, I made the worst decision of all time, but I'm just gonna stick with it. Back to the start and dying to roll 2. Aimbot. Back to roll 2. And aimbot again. I finally make it back to the cube. And actually having the IQ greater than a 5-year-old, I managed to get past this no problems because this encounter is so goddamn easy. And this actually brings us to Rainbow Road isn't really that hard, but I wasn't taking chances, so I just jumped around everywhere. But even that got me in a heart attack because I wasn't using triple jump, which I later swap. Although very tedious, I made it to the bottom without any problem, and finally made it to I say this with every fiber of my being, that this boss isn't difficult, just cheap. When you start this, Kel summons 3 of his clones to hit you from the triangle room from all angles, so you best get rid of at least one of them if you want any form of space to breathe. And then, when you finally get all 3 of his clones, you can enter into damage phase, which is its own type of hell. If anyone's curious why sending me backwards is dangerous, Dark Entropy is a thing, and if that reaches to times 10, I'm fucked. And Dark Entropy only goes up if I'm outside of the boss's radius, so I was doing so well until this happened. I can't even explain to you what the hell happened. I wasn't moving, looking in that direction at all, and yet he just went there for no reason.
This victory was hollow. That simply wouldn't stand with me. Some of the brightest and best people I've ever known in my life once told me, Ryan, I've only ever done what I can. Sometimes the cards don't roll.
That is not how that ends.
Folding is usually always my last option. But at the end of the
That's not how that ends. I've slammed forward.
So after sleeping on it, I decided to get a new rocket launcher. with lasting impression, which doesn't detonate the rocket instantly, but waits a little bit before blowing up. I'm gonna be honest, it was only a matter of time before some shit like this happened.
He carried my lasting impression rocket in my face and said, "Heal, you can have this back." Yes! Oh, my heart is fucking pounding. I don't want to do this shit. My sides hurt. Fucking hell.
Well, there you have it. Solo Flawless Prophecy. God, this dungeon broke me.